Great to have you with us. Now, government is this morning assuring persons yet to receive the second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine not to despair. Health Minister Kweku Agyemang-Manu says the nation is hopeful of receiving some consignments of vaccines between now and July. He claims scientific data on the claims the second dose was only efficient if administered within 12 weeks has changed.
So far, we have actually vaccinated 852,047 persons who have had the first dose of vaccination. Then we have another 379,156 people who have so far also received their second jabs out of the 381,000 targeted. We're looking to do 381,000 based on the doses of vaccines that we had, despite the fact that our first jabs went round to 852,000. So here we achieved 98.something% target when we started doing the second dose for AstraZeneca. We are still awaiting second doses for close to 472,891. I'll talk about the vaccines as we develop my argument.
Now, he has also been given updates on the status of vaccine procurement.
The status of the 18.5 and the 19. If it was in April or March this year, when we had that massive upsurge, I don't think we'll be asking about the status. People will rather be pushing me to move very hard. But because we've managed ourselves to this extent, and things are a bit slow now, we think that it is gone, so we should be careful. I will link this one to the Johnson & Johnson question. COVAX is giving us, initially they said 20% of the population for free. Then later they said they will increase to 30%. That is not confirmed yet. To vaccinate the rest of the population, government itself should find the vaccines. So far as we are not producing, it means we should procure from somewhere. So Johnson & Johnson, we are buying. We have even made some 15% deposit to get ourselves properly situated on their platform to show commitment that our order is backed with some political will. So we'll begin to receive in August. Now, we are finding challenges with bilateral engagements. I've mentioned Russia, but we needed vaccines. So we had to utilize people who claim they had authority to sell for Russia, and that is what we were doing. The LC that we did, we are still waiting. The schedules that we have in the agreement becomes effective. The agreement becomes effective after ordering and issuing letters of credit. Because they haven't been able to supply us even with the first 300,000, we have to hesitate a little bit to make sure that they are going to perform before we do the next LC. The Russian agreements are about similar. So the second one we even did, we're only hesitating to see if the first one can actually bring before we go ahead to try to do the LC for the second one. Whatever it is, we may have to procure. And so far as we are getting bilateral engagements to do, we wouldn't have options than to continue to engage middlemen to some limited extent. Thank you.
Away from health, the Upper East Regional Security Council has put all border security on high alert. This follows a police wireless message indicating possible attacks on Ghanaian communities in that region and other parts of northern Ghana by Burkinabe bandits. The wireless message indicates that the bandits are suspected to be in possession of military weapons and may have already infiltrated some yet-to-be-identified areas and plan an attack. Upper East Regional Minister Stephen Yakubu spoke to Joy News.
This threat has always been something that we are very carefully looking at because of the threats or what happened in neighboring countries. And we are always on high alert because we are basically at the border areas. So it's not something new. It's just that the intelligence that we are getting, as you have indicated, is making us really being very high alert on these issues. But there are issues that, as Upper Easterners, we are always careful and we are always on high alert, just to make sure that nothing comes through our borders. These are, security issues, and I don't think that I want to discuss them on phone with you. All what I can tell you is that we are on very high alert, and as I've told you, we are always on high alert because of what is happening in Burkina Faso, as you just mentioned. But I'm not ready to discuss any details of security with you, because that in itself is also a threat to the region.
What does this mean for the we are on high alert? What does it mean for the residents?
So what we are telling our citizens of the region is to be very aware of anyone that comes in. If there's a family member who is coming in that we know, yes, we know what he's coming to do. But if there's any other visitor that is coming in that we don't know, then we have to report this person to the security services, so that we are aware of the person in the country, and then monitor the person's movement, and then to see whether the person is a threat to the country or not. So we have employed all our citizens to be very, very vigilant. Anybody who is coming to stay in the region, either in a hotel or with friends, we have to monitor them and see exactly what they're doing. I'm through this your medium asking all our Upper Easterners to be very careful and to report such cases to the security agencies.
Now, still on security, the Ghana Police Service has announced a 20,000 bounty as a reward for anyone who provides information leading to the arrest of the bullion van robbers. On Monday, one police officer was shot dead and another bystander currently is battling for his life in hospital after a group of robbers attacked a bullion van at the timber market. The police has since intensified the search for the perpetrators of the horrendous daylight robbery, which has left residents and the police force in shock. The police has since the incident also met with the Bank of Ghana to fashion out ways to improve on security of bullion van operations across the country. Director of Public Affairs at the police, Sheila Kese Abeye Bachman, says whoever provides relevant information on the whereabouts of the perpetrators of the Monday attack will be rewarded.
The IGP has directed the Director General CID to take over investigation into the armed robbery incident that happened at Jamestown, the attack on a bullion van which led to the death of a police officer. Preliminary investigation shows that around 11 a.m. of Monday, while the Montran bullion van was on its daily errand, it was attacked by a number of armed men on a number of motorbikes. They aimed directly at the police officer and shot at him, killing him instantly. And then they started shooting sporadically to scare away people. So while two of them were shooting, the others went to the bullion van to break the padlock and to carry away. The police continue to encourage the public to be on the lookout for the perpetrators of the heinous crime that occurred at Jamestown, Accra. The Inspector General of Police has announced a reward of 20,000 Ghana cedis to any person who gives credible information to police for the arrest of the perpetrators. And in this regard, we assure informants of the utmost protection of their identities.
Well, security analyst Adam Bonner has described the police's lack of intelligence on suspects linked to the several robbery and murder cases recorded so far as a wild goose chase. He spoke on PM Express last night.
When this was happening in Kumasi, in Dichemso, a gentleman had the wife shot in front of him and killed.
Yeah.
We are not talking about that. We have had robbery incidents in Paga, we've had them in Kumasi, we've had them all over the country. Mine is that so long as we don't have intelligence on who these people are, Evans, we are fighting a losing battle. And for the first time in the history of the Ghana police, I have been asking, maybe you can ask the IGP, he's my friend, but do we have a wanted people's list? Okay, if you ask Peter Namfuri, he's still alive. We haven't, from Peter Namfuri to Apietu, all of them are still alive. If you ask any of them, they will tell you in their time who the crime kingpins were, and they were looking for them. As we speak today, ask the IGP and his people, do we have the likes of the Combian, Atayi, and all these people? Because this looks more like an organized crime. And for your information, yesterday, I am told that when the homicide unit got there, they collected 20 spent AK-47 shells.
20?
20.
Wow.
Not less than 20 spent AK-47 shells were found at that scene alone. If you understand what I'm saying, it means that this looks more like an organized crime. You don't fight organized crime with buttons and all, giving, flowery speeches. Let's see more action.
Also on the show, criminologist and crime researcher Dr. Jones Opokuwari charged the police service to study the new pattern of crime and find an antidote if the country has to process or progress in stemming crime.
We have to ask is, why are the criminals preferring to carry out their activities on the streets as opposed to the homes where it used to be? If you check many of these crimes as they have happened, especially those that have been happening in recent time on the street, the robbers have almost achieved about 100% success rate in terms of their operation, because they are able to obtain and to be able to do whatever they want to do and get away without anybody being able to stop them. So in terms of the choice of locations and where these things are happening now, and now the police has become more aware that as opposed to the olden days where these criminals would prefer to attack people within their homes, now the homes used to provide some kind of obstacles for them. But now the street is giving them a lot of shield. And once it gives them a lot of shield, what it means is that they will be able to carry out the activity without anybody stopping them. So for me, this is what the police should be looking at. And this is how the analysis of the patterns of the crime as we have them now should be. And that is why we have what is happening. Based on the fact that they happen on the streets, the fact that when it happens, a lot of people come around, and come and surround the crime scene. Trust me, a lot of the evidences are contaminated. And for me, in terms of evidence and data collection, and also for tracing the events, it makes it very difficult for the police to be able to carry out any meaningful criminal analysis on the scene.
Now, retired police officer and Member of Parliament for Wa West, Peter Tobu, says the police service has missed a fine opportunity in transforming itself by abandoning the transformation agenda initiated by former Inspector General Dr. Asante Apietu. Speaking on the AM show, Peter Tobu said in the transformation agenda was a holistic plan to deal effectively with crime.
It's not about the IGP. It's about the fact that the system is old. We need to reform it. Yes, we need to reform the system. And he brought, I was just the executive secretary, a small boy.
That's one of his former bosses. Yes. He actually served them.
Yes. So he brought what we call the police transformation agenda. The few questions that we're asking, just go to town and ask, is crime going down? The people say no. Are you happy with the police? The people say no. Do the police respond in time when you call on them? The people say no. Do you trust the police? The people say no. And if all these answers are no, go back to the police. Are you happy yourself as a police officer? You say no. Is your welfare the best that you think of? You say no. If all these answers are no, the simple solution is that we need reforms. So he introduced what we call the police transformation agenda. People didn't get it. It was a long-time project that was supposed to transform the Ghana Police Service into a democratically nurtured police organization capable of carrying this country to another level. But we didn't get it. We didn't get that support. Today, we are back to zero. And all these things that are happening, my brother, motorbikes-related crimes. There was something we introduced we call rovers. We observed that we need to use motorbikes to respond to motorbike. And the police motorbike should be more robust. And these people, if you have two people sitting on a police motorbike, fully dressed with their ballistic helmet and flak jacket, they can chase these people. As they fire, they will fire back. They can chase and fire. And at the end of the day, you can ride your motorbike and go and commit crime. Because of CCTVs in the system and connected to the emergency command center, look, we will generate an information that gradually you find about 10 sets of different motorbikes from the police getting into a particular zone, and wherever you pass, you will meet them, and you can't escape. Right. And that is gradually where we're going.
Now, we stay on the issue of growing insecurity because government statistician Professor Samuel Kobna Enim says his outfit, the Ghana Statistical Service, will soon carry out a national crime survey to properly establish the relationship between unemployment and crime in the country.
We are already in discussions on how to do a study on the extent of crime in the country. We're just waiting to do the population and housing census to give us the sampling frame on which we're going to use to do the study on crime, which will provide us with more details in terms of where are the hotspots, what are the characteristics of it, how over time it has changed. And again, the good thing about the population and housing census is that it allows us to look at what we've done in the past. As a country, we've been doing the Ghana Living Standard Survey, and in the last 10 years, we've done 2 of them. In 2013, we did one. In 2017, we did another Living Standard Survey. And with all these surveys, we have questions surrounding security. So once we do the population housing census, and as I indicated, we collected the GPS coordinates for the GLSS 7 in 2017-2018, ahead of the crime study that we're going to do, hopefully next year, we will be able to triangulate these 3 data sources to give us a sense of where we are as a country from a crime point of view. I would say that some work has been done, but definitely it's not enough. And when I say it's not enough, I'm expecting something about 10 times or even more what we are doing as a country in terms of studying the relationship between unemployment and the incidence of crime, and looking at this from different perspectives, i.e., what are the factors that would sort of help or sort of move or increase the relationship between unemployment and crime.
Now, researchers at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology have found contamination of millet and milk smoothie, popularly called Burkina, with E. coli. The Biochemistry and Biotechnology Department has found unacceptable levels of the bacteria in almost all the samples examined. Now, E. coli is an indicator of possible contamination with fecal matter. Love FM's Kwesi Deborah has more.
Burkina, we be like a common deal, we be a long journey be also in your beyond a pet about Sweden. Well, no, at least we know I bet me maintain you for some time.
Burkina is a food, very good, and because of the millet that is inside, when we eat it, even when we're hungry, we eat it, it satisfies me.
Oh, Burkina is a nice local drink. When taken, it actually refreshes you. Sometimes when we, the guys, when we are done with classes, and then we come by these Don Simon and other stuff, when you get Burkina, let's say 3 bottles, and then you are done with it, it really refreshes you up.
Burkina is a millet and milk smoothie, also called Dega or Nunu in some parts of West Africa. It's a fermented beverage made from cow milk and millet. Burkina can be considered a nutritious beverage. A dietitian at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Marina Ferreira-Tando, believes it can be promoted as a very good breakfast and snack to particularly reduce iron deficiency among Ghanaian children.
Burkina is a very healthy beverage that we should promote as an indigenous beverage in Ghana because it contains the necessary carbohydrates, essential amino acids, that is the proteins, essential fats, and it also has minerals and vitamins. So minerals such as copper, iron, and zinc. And considering the fact that over 50% of Ghanaian children are anemic, it's very important that we promote foods that are high in iron, such as Burkina. So it could be a potential good breakfast or even a snack for the population of Ghana.
The beverage, which is said to have originated from Burkina Faso, is fast becoming popular in Ghana. Dr. Marina Tando therefore decided to investigate the nutritional and microbiological quality of Burkina. Together with one of her students, Baba Huenia Adams, They collected 6 300ml Burkina from local producers and retailers in different locations in the Kumasi metropolis.
I purchased the Burkina from the retailers along the KNUST stretch, so from campus to Tech Junction to Angoga Junction through to Abu Abu.
Coliforms are bacteria that normally live in the intestines of healthy people and animals. They are therefore commonly found in the feces. They are also found in plants and in the soil. Escherichia coli, or E. coli, is a major member in the coliforms family and is found in the feces. Some strains of E. coli can cause severe stomach cramps, vomiting and bloody diarrhea and urinary tract infections.
E. coli is mainly transmitted through the fecal route. And so anything that contains fecal matter can potentially contaminate the product.
The permissible coliform limit is 10 coliform units per 0.1 milliliter of any food substance.
At the end of the research, we found out that 4 of Burkina samples collected from the various locations had high levels of E. coli, whereas 2 had high levels of other coliforms, but not E. coli.
The maximum total coliform count recorded by the team in the Burkina was over 900 times, and the minimum count being 100 times.
All of them couldn't pass the coliform levels.
Dr. Tando's team have also visited some production sites.
E. coli is a pathogen that is easily transmitted through fecal matter. And so anything that contains fecal matter is a potential source of contamination with E. coli. And so for this Burkina, for us to find E. coli in there could mean that there were several sources of contamination with fecal matter. And that possibly could have come from the storage condition of the beverage. And in this case, we found that some of their storage facilities had rodent infestation. And so it could come from the fecal matter of the rodents. It could also be from the storage of water that was used in preparing the Burkina beverage. And so poor storage conditions of the water could be a potential source of E. coli contamination. It could also be from poor hygienic practices of the producers. And so if they had fecal matter on their hands during the packaging process, they could transfer the E. coli to the beverage. Several other factors could also include poor fecal disposal, poor treatment of sewage is another potential source of E. coli contamination. So my recommendation would be that surveillance is very important on the part of the Food and Drugs Authority and all the other authorities in charge of ensuring that our food is healthy.
Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Deborah.
Now, about a year after its suspension due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Clean Ghana campaign has taken off again. The campaign, a brainchild of Joy News, executed in partnership with the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, is to educate the public and enforce sanitation bylaws within the city. According to the Director of Public Health at AMA, Florence Kuchi, the first phase of the campaign raked in significant improvement in adherence to sanitation standards, especially in markets. My colleague, Manuel Kranting, is with the team on its first assignment today. Manuel, where are you now and which areas have been the targets today? We'll bring you that story a bit later. Stay with us. This is Joy News Today. Now, a multi-sectorial Rwandan delegation is in Ghana to explore business opportunities and also deepen the bilateral relationship between the two countries. The visit is reciprocal to a Rwanda tour by a Ghanaian trade and media delegation in March this year to promote regional tourism and trade in anticipation of greater collaboration under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. After the delegation is expected to have a tour of historical and cultural sites in the Greater Accra, Ashanti and Central regions. Joy News' Christian Yali presents this report.
The 38-member Rwandan delegation, comprising government officials and people in the private sector, will look out for opportunities in business, tourism, and economic development. Owusu Afriyie is the advisor to the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture.
To be able to get Africa to be independent, to grow our economies, and to be able to make things work for us, even in the global side, we think that we must first of all do business within Africa. Tourism can be done within Africa. Today is Ghana, Rwanda. Tomorrow we'll be going to Nigeria, we'll be going to Senegal, and we believe that such reciprocal visits back to Ghana will begin to lay the blocks for the kind of tourism development and potentials that we're expecting in the very near future.
The Rwandan High Commissioner to Ghana, Aisha Kachira, said the visit would help to promote trade among the countries.
3 key areas of focus clearly came out as potential areas of stronger cooperation, and these are tourism, trade, and business investment and education. I'm very delighted today that this Rwandan delegation is completing the loop of exploring and getting a common understanding of the available resources that can be exploited more strategically and at scale to enhance the benefits of both countries.
Let's go back to my colleague Manuel Cranting. He is with the Clean Ghana team, which is on the streets again after the campaign relaunched. And now the campaign hits a slight hiatus because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Manuel has rejoined us now. Manuel, where are you now? Which areas have been the targets today?
Well, Daniel, today the team took off from the old office of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, and then the first stop has been the timber market within the Amamumu electoral area, of course, of the Ododo constituency. Now, we're currently in an Islamic school that is within this predominantly wooden structured community. And Mr. Asitanga, who is the environmental officer of the AMA, and then, of course, Madam Florence Kuchi, who is head of public health at the AMA, have been issuing some pretty stern directives to the caterers and some of the other vendors. Madam, so far, what have we been doing so far?
So far, what we've been doing, we are educating the people on how to keep their surroundings clean, and also ensure that where they are preparing food is safe for their health and for the people around. Because we can see that where the people are selling the food, they are not fire conscious. So Mr. Astanga spoke with them because they could speak Hausa, and so Mr. Astanga took the lead to educate them on fire safety. Because we could see that where they were cooking, their pile of wood and then wooden structure at the top, there can be naked flame, and before a fire outbreak would take place here, and then it is going to be a very serious issue because the whole place is engulfed with wooden structures, and that is why we are here today. We've served 4 abatement notice, and out of this notice, some are likely to be heading towards court.
Some are going to go to court. We heard some of the residents in the community. They say they have been taking initiative to clean the gutters and the drains, but the assembly is not cooperative in providing containers that will, as it were, cut the refuse to an end point. What's the response to that?
Yeah, what we have for as an assembly, it's our duty to assist the communities, educate them, to collect their waste and store it properly for further disposal. When you look at the community here, you see that there is no accessible route. So it makes it very difficult for the waste truck to get in to lift the skip container here. So they do door-to-door collection here. And the door-to-door collection is the tricycle method that they take around to take the waste here. So when we got here, we realized that they said the assemblyman has already taken an initiative by bringing them together to deseal the drain and he brought in those tricycles. The first truck of waste was chartered away, and they were waiting to come back to take the further collection of the waste. So at the point now, they said they are still waiting on the assemblyman to come to continue.
So what are we doing about it?
What we are doing is that today our visit here is another wake-up call. We're going to link up with the assembly member to bring him back, to ensure that we support him whatever we can do to let him clear the waste, and then the place will be healthy for all of us.
But boss, you operate this particular, what is it, a canteen, or what is your wife operates it? Okay. And they are saying that, I mean, look at the place. Refuse sometimes, there's firewood here, there's fire that's really close to the firewood. It's also close to this wooden structure. That's a lot of danger for not only yourself, but all the people who live around.
For you, that is true. That is true. The matter you are talking, okay, the matter you are talking is a very serious matter. The thing too, you are talking, how government talk, we see everything be serious matter. So there is nothing I can say against you. You get my point.
So you are going to comply?
Oh, you are going to do what we ask you to do.
Yes, I will do. I will do anything the government say we will do. We'll do it.
So when they come back in about a week's time, everything will be okay over here.
We will come to visit for your office. Okay. Then we will talk together. You understand? You come today to your office for the AM for Timber Market. Okay. We will come there and talk with you how we will do.
So that you can resolve this. Thank you very much. So this man operates this particular eatery, and there's been, caution, a statement has been issued to them, and they are to report to the AMA office for further discussions on how to relocate this particular, cooking point and to a safer, spot, because there's just a school about some 20 meters from this particular spot, which exposes the students to a lot of danger. But from here at the timber market, at the Amamomo electoral area, Daniel, if you can hear me, we're handing over back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Manuel Kranting, for bringing us those details. Remember, the Clean Ghana campaign team is on the streets. We could be in your area next. Be careful. It's time for us to get business news. Stay with us. Welcome to Business here on Joy News today. Now, the Ministry of Energy is proposing that commercial vehicle owners invest in the use of electronic cars to save the environment and also reduce costs on crude products. Sector Minister Dr. Matthew Opoku-Pempe said this after test driving the first and fully electronic Kona E Hyundai presented to his ministry today. The vehicle, the first of its kind in Africa, has 3 charging levels. It gets fully charged in 31 hours, which will give the capacity of 3.2 kilowatt hours. Dr. Opoku-Pempe was hopeful of gains the country will benefit if industries and ministries begin the use of the energy-efficient vehicles. Now, Hannah Odami joins us with some more details on this. Hannah, considering the unstable supply of power in the country, how is the minister expecting these electric vehicles to be attractive?
Well, the minister did not even wait for us to ask him. All he said was that he's charging the leaders in the energy sector, specifically electricity company, to ensure that there is stable supply of power, because he's going to encourage ministries and agencies to go into buying these electronic vehicles. And so he doesn't want a situation where he encourages all of them to go buy them, and then when it comes to charging, there's always power outages. So he said this is a challenge he's throwing to the directors at the Electricity Company of Ghana to ensure that there's no power outages, especially at places where he's going to call charging centers. These places will be at the malls, they will be at the bus terminals, where if you have these vehicles and even if you have a power outage in your home, you can go to these places he calls charging centers so that you can go and charge the vehicles. That's another interesting thing that you did not ask was the fact that these vehicles, they do not have engines. All they have is motors, and you don't have to fully charge them before you can use them. Once it is 50% charged, you can use them. And when you charge it for 31 hours, you can go to somewhere like Techiman in the Bono region, and come back before your battery runs out. So this is a charge that he has given to the the leaders in Ghana, at the electricity company of Ghana, to ensure that there's no power outage, so that everyone, he doesn't want only those who are affluent to be able to use it. He wants everyone to be able to afford and use it.
So Hannah, how much do I need, since the minister does not want only affluent people to get it? How much do I need?
You need 360,000 cedis to be able to get this vehicle, Daniel. As you can see it on your television, it's quite beautiful, energy efficient. And he actually told the operators of Hyundai that they should try and reduce the cost. He's going to do something about the tax so that at least can reduce the price, so that commercial vehicle owners, Uber, Bolt, all those commercial vehicles, and you and I can afford it.
Well, I'm waiting for the price to be jigged so that I can afford it. Thank you very much, Hannah Odami, for joining us. This has been the business segment on Joy News today. Up next is Muftar Nabila Abdullahi with sports.
Good afternoon. Time now for sports on Joy News today. I am Muftar Nabila Abdullahi. Black Stars coach C.K. Akono says he is intensifying his systems as he seeks to build a formidable team of winning the AFCON 2022 and qualifying for the FIFA World Cup. According to him, monitoring the best of players to represent the country is key to the success he seeks to achieve.
We'll be watching our players closely, having, as usual, Zoom meetings, and to inform them about what they've done, even where they are, because we've watched them. Of course, now Patrick is also here, who will lead that course because he's in Europe and he will be visiting them every now and then. He's developed a very good relationship with the technical team and of course with the players. And so it's all looks positive. There's been a lot of positivities, going on with us. So we want to then, try as much as we can to improve how we can attack quickly, and how it demands that we look at which perspectives we can use to achieve that. And so, but within this same amount of players that we have on board, and this exercise has been very, very positive for us.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News today. Now, former President John Agyekum Kufuor is reviving the love for fine arts by introducing to the rest of the world his more than 70 collections over the years. At a ceremony on Tuesday hosted by the French ambassador to Ghana, a book titled Art and the Power of Goodness is all you need to read.
With great pleasure that I would like to unveil to you Art and the Power of Goodness, a collection of John Agyekum Kufuor, forwarded by Gordon Brown and written by Ivor Ajimandua, with a poetry complement, Keeper of the Remains. Congratulations once again to former President Kufuor for sharing your collection. God bless you, and God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Fine art, according to Gustavo Corbett, is knowledge made visible. On Tuesday at the French Embassy, a section of fine arts lovers were for the first time introduced to a collection of art by the former President J. Kufuor in a book titled Art and the Power of Goodness. The book highlights beautiful, rare collections of art from across the world collected by the former president. This collection shows much of a lover of fine art President Kufuor is. Ivor Ajimandua is the author of this book.
Art is universal, and to the extent that it's universal, there are values in art that will help with our own personal development. It will also help with social development. It will help at the end with national development. We look at art and we look at the level of creativity in the country. So we can use art to also measure the level of creativity in the country. And of course, the works or the objects in this are national and international. We are not only talking about Ghanaian and West African objects or art, we're also talking about East and Southeast Asia and what we have in common with them and what we don't have in common with them. So it's views coming together, histories coming together, and humanity coming together.
But how do we as a country develop love or pay attention to the arts even though it remains a taste for a section of the public? Nana Asante Bediato is Executive Secretary to the President, Akufo-Addo.
You're right in the sense that not many people actually are into fine art, paintings and sculpture, you know, where somebody's labor of love is involved. Yeah, a lot of the stuff you buy for decorating, they're made in factories in China or something. But I think the important thing is to have outlets where people, you know, sometimes people take their children to the mall on Sundays just to have something to do. Now, if we had a lot of museums or galleries or contemporary spaces for art, people might want to do that. And through publicity and education in schools, you will get more people interested in art. Yeah.
For someone like me who is gradually growing fond of fine arts, people like Her Excellency Madame Anne-Sophie Ave, Ambassador of France to Ghana, should be my inspiration.
I think that the way I see it is from the natural disorder of something like, you know, chaos of nature, men, when they suddenly want to dominate it, make something very graphic, very organized, and you see the people are lined up very neatly. So yeah, we bring order to the nature, and nature brings food to us. But that's a very personal.
Which is very good, which is why you're in a better position to advise, you know, Ghanaians out there who are watching us. I think the importance of, you know, appreciating arts.
I think someone else would probably see a house that looks like a family house or reminds them of a village, maybe see some water and see a river, and suddenly it will bring memories or histories from the river. That's the way I see it, because I don't know, maybe of my culture. But what's important is that everyone sees something, because again, it's a dialogue between your emotions and the artist's emotions that he has depicted, given life to through a painting.
At the end, Ghana can only begin to pay attention to the arts and explore its world like the former President J. Akufo did.
The art and the power of goodness, a collection of John Ajekum Kufuor, should be an interesting read.
All right, that'll be all for Showbiz here on Joy News today. Daniel Dazi, you should get that book and read.
Well, yeah, I intend to get the book, but Becky, I'm sure that you've come to appreciate.
Yes, please. I have.
Yeah,
I have.
Yeah. I see it in your dressing. You're looking very artistic today.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. So that's it for this bulletin of Joy News today. Up next is the marketplace. But catch Nathaniel Atto when he comes at 2 p.m. with the latest in sports. We're still playing the Euros. And go on myjoyonline.com for the latest in news. My name is Daniel Dazi. Have a good day.